This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening and welcome back to another edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion here on the channel. And let me tell you, this is the one as a once upon a time broadcaster that makes me a little happy for a guy that's grinded away in the Edmonton Oilers radio play-by-play circuit for a long time now. Jack Michaels sees himself quote unquote, I guess, in the hockey world, promoted from radio broadcast to television broadcast for Sportsnet. He will take over the lead play by play for the Oilers when it comes to regional games on our television sets. So that is anything Sportsnet West, Sportsnet Oilers exclusive. That is where you will find Jack Michaels when the Oilers are playing those games. Now, when it comes down to the national games, whether it be Scotiabank Wednesday Night Hockey or Hockey Night in Canada on Saturday, well, that will become a situation in which Jack Michaels will transition back to the radio alongside Bob Stauffer, and he'll call games there. So a shake-up, Kevin Quinn, Drew Remenda out of the Sportsnet staff, and well, now we've got two newer faces to TV, I guess you could say, in Bob Stauffer and Jack Michaels taking their place. Of course, Bob and Jack have been a part of our lives for a long, long time now here as Oilers fans. And I'll tell you this about Jack Michaels taking over the spot of Kevin Quinn as the Oilers play-by-play man. Love him or hate him. I know I saw a lot of complaints about Kevin Quinn last season on Twitter. What I'm going to tell you, the guy has held that job for a long, long time. I think it dates back to like 2001 is how long Kevin Quinn has been the play-by-play guy for the Oilers on Sportsnet. So you go back, Tyson joining up the Oilers fandom in 2005. Well, what have I known on television when it comes to regional broadcasts? One guy and one guy only, that being Kevin Quinn. So, for me, well, that also dates me a little bit back to a guy that, talk about before Jack Michaels, the most legendary play-by-play voice in Edmonton Oilers history. Bob Cole was there. I'm not really familiar with the whole Bob Cole Edmonton Oilers story, but go really to it, right? Heart and soul Edmonton Oilers play-by-play voice, all Oilers all the time. Rod Phillips, right? I don't think I had to build that up as much as I did. Rod Phillips and Kevin Quinn, you combine those two together for a guy that got into hockey majorly in 05-06. I'm sorry, what? Yeah, that is a big chunk of what was the rest of my childhood, my teenage years, my early adult years, and, well, now to here we go. The last of those two off the mic for Oilers broadcast. Rod Phillips long gone, but not forgotten, and now Kevin Quinn gone, but not forgotten for what they did to instill the memories of the Edmonton Oilers hockey inside my brain for years to come. Obviously, I guess you want to ask my favorite Rod Phillips memory, go back to a game against Arizona. I think it was the 05-06 season. I want to say it was the 05-06 season, in which Chris Pronger was lining up at the blue line. There was about like 2.3 seconds on the clock. The Oilers were down one and needed to take it to overtime to win the hockey game. And you want to talk about mass confusion. There was a timeout. There was everything that could possibly throw the game around. There was time off the clock on a bad face-off. Rod Phillips, man, like that one still, I can remember that night just like that right off the top of my head. Are all the details fully clear, crystal clear? No. I'm sorry, way too much has happened since 05-06 to have that clearly in my mind. But I can sit there, picture myself laying in bed, radio going. Done and dusted, my friends. Done and dusted. So with that said, of course, you're seeing the waiver stuff. I guess I can take that off. But now, of course, the reason I tell you that story is because Jack Michaels, he took over a hard job to take over and taken over for Rod Phillips, all right? That's a hard one to win over a fan base that was that attached to a radio play-by-play announcer. Jack Michaels did that and more. You might remember the February 1st, 2020 call against the Calgary Flames. I don't think I need to describe that one to you either. The Battle of Alberta we've been waiting for. Well, we've waited how many years for? I don't even know how many he said. But it was good, right? Again, see, details are there, not fully there. This is video number 3 of the day already. Don't fault me too much, all right? But same detail there goes for that. And now you talk about taking over for Rod Phillips all those years ago. Kevin Quinn off the television mic, and in steps, who else but Jack Michaels to do exactly what he did on the radio. Take a love him or hate him fan favorite, I guess you could say, Kevin Quinn, and replace him with Jack Michaels. Not a bad upgrade for Sportsnet, and here's how it'll work. So Jack Michaels will call all the games, regional games, not Hockey Night in Canada or Wednesday Night Hockey, but then you go on to the national games. He'll transition back to radio. Bob Stauffer will contribute on TV alongside Gene Principe and Louis DeBrusque. And then you've got Cam Moon, who is the longtime voice of Red Deer Rebels hockey, taking over for Jack Michaels on the play-by-play for regional games. So that's all done and dusted, I guess you could say. Sorry, my phone's just ringing. But as it currently sits for the Edmonton Oilers, not a bad day in the universe of shuffling around broadcasters. And I guess if I'm going to sit here and tell you all about broadcasters and what the Oilers have shuffled, I'm not Oilers affiliated, so I might as well tell you what's shuffled in my life. Absolutely nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, we are clear for takeoff on Wednesday, 8 p.m. start against the Vancouver Canucks for the third year in a row. We're ready to rip with Oilers coverage here on the channel, and I would be glad to bring it along to you. So now is your time. If you've got a couple seconds here and you're thinking, you know what, this guy, he's worth sticking around to listen to about the Oilers season. I've listened to him a couple times over the summer say this or that, but I want to see how many meltdowns and how many over-the-top reactions he has during the NHL season. Well, you can do that by hitting that subscribe button and sticking around for what's going to be a great season starting Wednesday at 8 p.m. I look forward to it. I hope you look forward to it as well. And with that, you know what? I'll let you go. It's going to be a 7-minute video. That's fine. That's dandy. I don't need to get that extra ad in there. I'm up on out of here.